In 25 words or less, can you comment on net neutrality? Okay, 50 words.
I'm for
100.
it. And I got 22 to spare.
For those who need a really quick explanation.
Yeah, but it won't be 25 words. Net neutrality is fundamentally the question of, to put it in analogical terms, whether the internet of the future should look more like the internet of the past or like your cable TV service, okay? Your cable TV service, right? You have three options. You got the super mega and hyper mega, right? And all of them you're paying for channels you don't want. But then if you really want the channel you do want, like Showtime or HBO or something, then you're going to pay an extra $20 a month. The idea of net neutrality is that it is baked into the hardware of the internet. That, as I said earlier, if you plug in a computer in one place, you can get access to websites everywhere, regardless of who's running that website, and not have to pay extra. You pay, like electricity, for what you use. And you notice that with, for instance, your electricity, your utility doesn't charge you more if you plug in a higher refrigerator than if you plug in a GE refrigerator. The lack of net neutrality is a world in which your internet service provider can charge you more for going to Vimeo instead of YouTube, or for Bing instead of Google. And the idea is that all the GDP creation, all the job creation, all the innovation of the internet has been based on this ruthless competition. It's actually a fundamentally kind of libertarian notion, oddly enough, that fundamentally, as long as you have access to the whole internet, that these companies are going to fight it out for control, and that you can get on a new fledgling website just as easily as you can on the big guys, because the big guys can pay for special treatment. And net neutrality protections are fundamentally designed to protect that. Now, we could talk, I don't think we have time, about the legal technicalities of it. What's the right framework for it? Should there be a law? Should it be under what's called Title II of the Telecommunications Act, which is what Barack Obama implemented, Donald Trump undid. We'll probably see 2 or 3 more times where they go back and forth on it. But the underlying reality, the thing you got to know is, if you like accessing all of the internet's websites and not paying extra for it, then you're for net neutrality. If you are okay with ISPs being able to specialize and charge you more for different service or access to just some websites, maybe they charge you less, then you might be against net neutrality. And I would just point out this: in a perfectly functioning market, for instance, they have, if I'm in central Paris, I have 8 ISPs I can choose from. There might be a world in which you don't really need net neutrality, because they might specialize, they might have different ways. One's just for gamers, one's just for people who like movies, whatever. But in America, the average American in an urban setting has about 2 ISPs to choose from. And in a non-urban setting, it's more like an average of 1. And so as long as that's the case, then we have something called the terminating access monopoly. And that's fundamentally what net neutrality is, and why I think it's pretty important to the future of the internet as we know it and want it to be.